Well, hello, friends. Good afternoon. How's everybody doing? Sorry I'm a little late. I went to drive in a blizzard to get Starbies. Hopefully, everybody's still here and your notifications are going to click in and you'll come back. Sorry, I pushed it back. I was driving in a blizzard, needed my coffee. Eddie, thank you so much. You said you'll come hang out with me. Appreciate you. Chief, hello. How you been? Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Might not be able to catch the live. Well, Chief, if you end up being replay crew, hello. Sally, how you doing if you're still here? Dawn, hello. Mish Girl, hello. RV, keep it rolling. Hope you're still here. Denise, listening while cleaning. I like to do that a lot too. I listen while I clean. P Fox, hopefully you're still here. Hello. Sudie, hello. How you doing? Susie Q. Yeah, I drive safe always. For fuck's sake, Fitziana. Happy Sunday, my darling. Love you. Thanks for being here, all my mods. Gina, how you doing? Thanks for being here. Yvonne. Yes, Starby's addiction, right? When you'll drive in a blizzard for it. You know it. Yeah, I will. I will. I mean, whatever. I have an SUV. It's fine. I drove slow. You know what I mean? Meg P, darling, good morning. P Fox, you're back. Yay. Who else am I missing? Kane B. Hopefully you are still here, friend. Who else? 12, how you doing? Just had your coffee? Well, I had points. Don't you love it when you have Starbucks points? I don't know about anybody else, right? But so I save and save and save and save and save until I have enough, for like 3 or 4 free drinks. And then I just get the most outlandish, the biggest with the extra espresso shots, $15 coffee because you can get it for free. Anybody else? Yeah, it's a freaking blizzard there in Cleveland too, darling. All right. Well, that's what we're doing. It's a snow day live. Today is going to be very laid back. Today is just going to be laid back, chill, hang out, um, go over lots of things in anticipation for Frank's, right? Warrior Mom, how you doing? Thanks for being here. Carla, hello, I didn't miss you. Thanks for being here. Only in Detroit. Hello, big up Detroit. Who else am I missing? Someone, somewhere. Deborah, how are you? Blizzard in Ottawa. Ugh. I mean, I feel like it's always a damn blizzard in Ottawa, no? Kidding. Hello from Canada. Ottawa, right? That's Canada, right? It's Sunday. I need to let the coffee kick in. Echoes, how are you? Thanks for being here, honey. Hope you're having a great day. Who else am I missing? Anyone? Anyone? Jackie. Hello, Jackie. Jackie. Sarah. Good morning. Happy Sunday. ADHD Stacy. Hey, welcome, ADHD Stacy. Love it. We all have a little ADHD, don't we? Hey, so sidebar, right? Does anybody else need to listen to absolutely deplorable gangster rap on their way to Starbucks and Trader Joe's, or is it just me? One's in the chat. If when you need to go do your grocery shopping and run your errands, if you blare dirty, old school gangster rap from back in the day. Big Mike, how you doing? Happy you're here. B-Man, how you doing? Thanks for being here. Dean, how you doing? So many freaking dudes hopping up in the chat. Love it. And they say true crime is mostly women. We got lots of dudes up in here. Anybody else? Ones in the chat? Anyone? Anyone? No, just me? All right. Well, a little fun fact about me. I like to listen to DMX, Fabulous, and Mystical. When I go shop. And Tupac. I can't be the only one. Amethyst, how you doing? Can't believe I'm not seeing ones in my damn chat. This is absurd. I thought we were friends. Kidding. Larissa? I don't know if I'm saying your name right, but I like it. Larissa? I hope I'm saying it right. Larissa Harris. How are you? Thanks for being here. Yes, Big Mike, you are my dudes. That's right. I got lots of dudes. Scott, how you doing? Right? That's right. Casa de Genova. Hello from Northern Michigan. Well, hello from Northern Michigan. How you doing? Ones, P Fox. All right, I knew it. P Fox. You'll give me a 1 too. Sarah, do you also need to listen to gangster rap when you run to Trader Joe's and Starbucks? Nothing like a white girl heading over to Trader Joe's and Starbucks, blaring Tupac, hit him up, right? It's wild. I know I get looks and I don't care. Because I'm old too, so they probably look and they're like, what is this old bitch doing? Listening to Tupac hit him up as she cruises through the Trader Joe's parking lot. It's a fun time. Just a little sidebar about me. But yeah. So I hope everybody's having an awesome Sunday. If you're like half the country, you're probably under damn blizzard warning, tornado warning. I hope everyone is safe. I hope everyone is staying warm. And if you're joining, thanks for being here, because really you could be anywhere else. And if you're hanging out with me, I truly appreciate it. I haven't seen my Mercy Cat yet or my treetop. So if you ladies are here and you're listening, hello, miss you. Hope you're well. I haven't seen Golf around either. Miss her so much. Yeah, right. Tupac was a poet. Damn right. I like Biggie too, Sarah. That's the problem with me, right? I like it all. I grew up on all of it. I grew up on the East Coast, West Coast rivalry. You know what I mean? It was my heyday. Where's Kane? Did I see Kane? Kane B, where you at? Yeah, if you have a pit bull potamus with you, people kind of expect it. Yeah. I thought about it too. My cat, I always kind of wish that I had, from when she was a kitten, just started bringing her in the car always with like a harness on and stuff and like a gold chain so she could just chill on the dashboard with her like gold chain on, with the rap blaring. I wish I could have done that with my cat. Cane B! Yay! Mercy Cat! You did say hi and I missed you? Oh my goodness, I hope you know that would never be on purpose. I love you far too much. Thanks for being here, darling. I hope your week got better. I hope you're having a great Sunday. Will you ever cover the Diddy case? Well, I kind of did. I've read through the criminal complaint by Cassie. I do have that up. It was a live I did. And I feel like that criminal complaint from Cassie also led us into the Jones v. Combs case, where, if I remember correctly, we also read the criminal complaint for that. And that had to do with, which Combs was it? Christian, maybe? I don't remember. But yes, there is a live where I did cover the criminal complaint regarding Diddy and the Jones case. Talks about Cuba Gooding Jr. They were trying to serve him through one of those, what the hell do they call them? For fuck's sake, Fitziana, my darling. The ones that come bang on your door to serve you. What are those things called again? Those people, those jerks, they'll lie and say that they're someone else and bang on your door. Process server. There we go. So they were attempting to serve Cuba Gooding Jr., this process server was attempting to track him down, and he was hiding himself out in all of these motels and hotels all over Miami. But that was the extent of it. I do have a live though, 12. It's somewhere in there. Yeah, I want to get to the Jay-Z stuff, I do, but we've been because I've been so focused putting my little spreadsheet together of all the warrants, doing everything in chronological order from when they put it in to when they got it back to when it was submitted with the court or when they needed an extension, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I've been really putting a lot of work into that behind the scenes. So I have not been really looking at other things. And the one I really want to get to is for Mickey Stein's. From what I understand, there's a deposition. His deposition is available. And I would love to do a read through of the deposition of Mickey Stein's. I don't know if that's for the federal thing, right? I got to dig more into it. Somebody here probably already knows. But that's kind of what I will be looking at next. Is kind of doing a catch up on the Stein's case. So, anyways. Let's see here. Yeah, solicitor. I know. That's what I was actually thinking, though, Meg. Me too. It was in the front of my brain, solicitor. And I'm like, nah, I know that's not right. You like classic rock? So do I, Yvonne. Love it. Grew up on it. 70s classic rock, right? I love all music, but for some reason, when I have to go get my coffee or like if I'm going to the grocery store or I got to go, I don't know why. I just love listening to like hardcore gangster rap. So anyways, Mikey S., how you doing? Thanks for being here. Mary Holt, hi. Thanks for being here. Yeah, there's some deposition available, Jackie, for Steins. And I'm not sure if it's the deposition from the feds or if it's the deposition. I got to dig more into it, but yeah. Oh, I mean, that's it. Yeah, Meg. That's how I look at anybody really in the music industry, Hollywood. I don't really, I don't idolize these people. Never have. I'll give it to them. There are some rappers I like. I like their music and stuff. It is what it is, but, I don't worship these people or anything. Exactly, P. Fox, right? I didn't choose thug life. It chose me. Exactly. It just happened. I grew up in that era. Fun fact, I grew up in the days when raving was like the thing. And I worked for a company that threw raves all up and down the eastern seaboard, like literally from Maine to Florida. We threw raves all over the place. Georgia, New York, Bronx, Manhattan, Staten Island, like literally. We went everywhere. Pennsylvania, Philly, places like that. We did a lot of parties in like DC, Maryland. Toes, how you doing? So, little fun fact about me, yeah. I grew up in that scene. I was into 25. That's all I did for work. Was found artists, found talent, stuff like that. Made sure that they had a good flight, good hotel, safe trip to and from the venue. We'd book the venues, book the artists, stuff like that. It was a lot of fun. I'm also a pretty badass dancer, for those of you who didn't know. I was a B girl back in my day. Young Black Economist, thank you for being here. Good to see you as always. Deborah, if I didn't say hi to you, hello. I'm sure I did, but if there's anybody I missed, so very sorry. Leslie and Billy, how you doing? K and B, you're right there. Awesome. Twiz. Did I just see Twiz? There he is. Twiz, darling. Good morning. Thank you for being here. My chat's flying and I'm missing people. Sorry. Sorry. Anyways, what I wanted to talk about today is not me or my raver days or anything like that. Sally Shepherdson, hello. Yeah, I know, right? 12. I mean, I tried once and was like, never again. I was usually the DD. Everybody else wanted to go get wasted. I was the DD for everybody. I was the one who made sure everybody got home safe, got there safe. That was my job. Yeah. But you're right about that, 12. Back in the days, pure. Before that other stuff came about. Yeah. Partied at the raves in Tempe. TN Sapphire, hello. Thanks for being here. Sherlock Romes, how you doing? Thanks for being here. Says there's 92 people here. That's amazing. Happy Sunday to all of you. So anyways, yeah, today's just going to be super laid back and chill. I know we're all very anxious about this Frank's decision that we're all waiting on, right? I figured it's probably a good idea to maybe just go back and revisit some things and look at some things and, you know, pole dancer. Oh, hell no, B-man, not me. You got me fucked up. Not me. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but nope, definitely not me. Nope. I was a B-girl. Hip-hop dancer, break dancer. And a really good one, too, by the way. I don't know when the Frank's hearing is going to happen, honey, Sally. We're waiting on a decision. Hopefully. I mean, I feel like they've met the basis for it. But yeah, I mean, listen, not that there's anything against it, right? I'm not saying that there is because there's not. But no, that's not the kind of dancer I was. No. There were the cage girls who would be on stage. Those would be the ones in like the little booty underwear and, little tiny tops or pasties or whatever in the go-go boots, and they'd be in the cage up on stage and stuff. That wasn't me. I was the like breakdancer B girl down in the pit with all the other B boys and B girls battling each other. Sounds wild, I know. I can't even believe it. It's like it was a whole nother life. And then there are days now where like even my oldest, I'm like, I think you've forgotten who I am and I need to show you. And my inner G comes out and I'll dance circles around her. Yes. Well, that's what I mean, Twiz. I think we're going to get it. Nola. Is it New Orleans lady here? Where? Where? Stop it. Where? Nola. Where are you? How did I miss her? I'm not seeing Nola. Where is it? New Orleans lady, if you're here, I cannot see your comment. Why? Oh, you guys are talking about New Orleans. Okay, my bad. I saw Nola. That's she's a mod. Oh, I wasn't in a crew. I wasn't in a crew. There were other people in crews. I wasn't in a crew. I just hung out with everybody. Yes, they did do like V8. Yes, back then there was, they would go and record. There were people from the, either they were with the music talent or they were from the venue. I'm sure there's tapes somewhere. I don't have them. Mm-mm. I do have a friend of mine who was like, found all of these old photos from back in the day. And she sent them to me on Facebook. And I was like, oh my God, that's what we looked like. Yeah, pretty funny. Two live crew. That's hysterical. All right. So, anyways, back on topic. Back on topic. Right. I wanted to be a groupie. Oh, fuck no. Big Mike. Don't be ridiculous. Do I sound like a damn groupie? Hell no. Yeah, basically. Like, bring it on. I could have fun with everybody because it was all just in fun. We didn't battle each other like. There were some crews though, like for real, if they had beef and they would battle each other, they'd get like real aggressive, you know? We didn't do that. I didn't anyway. Once I saw people getting real aggressive, I dipped out. I was like, okay, bye. And then I'd head backstage. I'd go hang out in like VIP or something and watch from up in the booth just in case anybody got stupid. There was a period of time too where I was the person who would monitor like the ladies' bathroom because these girls would literally go into the bathroom to go do their drugs, right? And it was my responsibility to make sure that they weren't in the bathrooms overdosing on their damn drugs, you know. So, yeah, that was fun. That was fun times. But anyways, so I feel like we need to get back to maybe just looking for a few things, reviewing a few things, going over some expert stuff. I did find something actually from AT&T too that I wanted to share with you guys because to me it's very interesting, right? Um, when we hear Ashley Jennings in one of the last hearings with John Judge, when Payne is testifying, she asked him, "Are you aware AT&T did not provide those records in December 2022?" Right? And he says, I didn't know, or I wasn't aware, something to that effect. And then when Ann gets Cy on the stand, Cy also makes a comment about how in December of 2022, AT&T didn't provide those records to like local and state law enforcement. Usually those records were only provided to feds. And then at this most recent hearing, we have Masseth getting both of them on record, um, asking them, were you aware that the FBI could access those records without a warrant? And they both were like, nope, nope, Mallory and Payne, are like, no, I had no idea, you know. Um, well, then I found this because I was doing my own stuff behind the scenes here with my chronological order of things. And then I found the article that I found for AT&T, and I was like, interesting. Now, I remember when this first happened, my instinct and in the back of my mind, I was like, oh, wouldn't that be some shit? Someone hacked these records, right? For the purposes of getting, like, I'm being dead ass. When I first saw that this had happened with AT&T, I said somebody hacked this shit specifically for this case. And I'll share with you what I mean, that huge like AT&T data breach. But I'm going to share this so that you guys can see why I think that. And we'll go through it together. So, this is an article from July 15th, 2024. This was after there was that big AT&T data breach. And there was something like, they said basically all users, almost all users for AT&T had their shit hacked, right? So Let's read through this together because I thought it was very interesting. It says AT&T reportedly paid ransom for deletion of stolen call logs after culprit allegedly was detained. The scale of AT&T's data breach continued to widen over the weekend, with reports emerging that AT&T paid a $370,000 ransom to a hacker who obtained the logs of calls and texts of more than 100 million customers. Reporters from Wired and Bloomberg spoke to a hacker who claimed to have been paid by AT&T, providing both outlets with a Bitcoin wallet address and a video of themselves deleting the data. AT&T declined to comment when asked about the payment, which was allegedly made in May. Just keep in mind, May. Writing for Wired, cybersecurity journalist Kim Zetter reported that the unidentified hacker is part of the Shiny Hunters hacking group and worked with hacker John Aaron Binns on organizing the stolen data. Aaron Binns is best known for taking credit for a data breach involving T-Mobile in 2021. He is a U.S. citizen but is believed to currently reside in Turkey, where his mother is from. Over the weekend, 404 Media reported that Aaron Binns was involved in the AT&T data theft. Aaron Binns was detained by Turkish authorities in May, after being indicted for his role in the T-Mobile hack. Zetter was told this is why AT&T paid the ransom to another hacker who Aaron Binns allegedly shared access to the data with. Zetter reported that a researcher who facilitated the ransom payment told her AT&T was likely the first of more than 165 organizations impacted by a string of thefts from customers of data storage giant Snowflake. Snowflake's spokesperson did not address several questions about the new reporting, instead directing Recorded Future News to a statement from last week indicating the company has made several changes to its products that allow customers to make multi-factor authentication mandatory. This is where we're going to get into why I wanted to share this. Importance of call data records. AT&T told the SEC on Friday that metadata from nearly all call logs and texts made by AT&T customers over a 6-month period in 2022 was stolen. A spokesperson for the telecom giant confirmed that the number of people affected was about 109 million. While the breach did not include text messages or call recordings, it did involve, quote, records of calls and texts of nearly all of AT&T's wireless customers and customers of mobile virtual network operators using AT&T's wireless network. These records identify the telephone numbers with which AT&T or MVNO wireless number interacted during these periods, including telephone numbers of AT&T wireline customers and customers of other carriers, counts of those interactions, and aggregate call duration for a day or month, the company said in the SEC filing. For a subset of records, one or more cell site identification numbers are also included. While the data does not include customer names, there are often ways using publicly available online tools to find the name associated with a specific telephone number. The researcher who facilitated the ransom payment told Zetter that Aaron Binns personally showed him how easy it was to identify someone by information included in the breached data. Multiple experts said that people should not assume that the leak is not important because it did not include text messages or call recordings. The potential exposure of cell tower data is particularly alarming, according to Secure Cyber Defense CEO Sean Waldman, because it could allow hackers to pinpoint locations based on phone numbers. I hope everybody's tracking. I'll be back to chat in a minute. Jake Williams, a former hacker for the NSA, said threat actors have used data from previous compromises to map phone numbers to identities. What the threat actors stole here are effectively CDRs, which are a gold mine in intelligence analysis because they can be used to understand who is talking to who and when. Williams noted that even those who are not AT&T customers may have some exposure if they work with an MVNO that piggybacks off AT&T's network. He also outlined several ways hackers might use the information, including publicizing ties between certain organizations that wanted to keep associations out of public view. Threat actors may also use the data to understand who is using SMS-based multi-factor authentication. CDRs are extremely valuable data, according to Color Token's Vice President, Agni Sarkar. Hope I said your name right, Agni. Because they can reveal where someone lives, who they call more frequently than others, and more. Others warned that CDRs could allow for phishing attacks, corporate espionage, or worse. Imagine a bad actor. This is important. Quote, imagine a bad actor mapping the communication patterns of executives or government officials. They could identify key relationships, pinpoint vulnerabilities, and craft highly sophisticated attacks, said Doe Control co-founder Omri Weinberg. This goes beyond individual privacy. It's a matter of corporate and national security. Okay. Now, there was another article that I found. I'm going to stop sharing this for a minute, come back to chat, just so everybody's aware. The breached data for AT&T, all of the CDRs, okay, is for what they asked for, the months that they, is my shit working? Can you guys hear me? It just said my thing. I really hope I didn't just read all that and nobody could hear it. Please tell me you heard all that. Fuck my life. I hope I didn't just read all that for nothing. So the point of me reading this article has to do with not only that the hack happened in May, which we all know is a very specific time, May 2023. Okay. The data that was hacked was very specific. Oh, you could hear. Thank God. Okay. So the data that was breached from AT&T, not only is it all these CDRs and everything, it was very specific for the months. And I think the months are what's important. So not only that the hack was in May, but that the specific information that was hacked was from October 2022. Or no, I'm sorry. Let me go back and read it. Hang on. Now I need to go find that again. The breach, if I remember correctly, went from June 2022 to October 2022. Someone fact check me real quick, please. One of my mods or someone. AT&T breach. The specific data that was breached, if I remember correctly, it goes from June 2022 to October 2022. And the hack itself was in May. You can hear me. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Yeah, right. Fact check me, mods. Quick. Like for fuck's sake, Fitziana says, right? Quick. Someone find me a know-it-all. Fact check me. If I remember correctly, the hacked data is for the time frame June 2022 to October 2020 specifically. They went to October 31st. Frosty Phantom, how you doing? Thanks for being here. Twiz, Gorgle Stick. Wait a minute, what? Did he change his name? Is that what you're trying to tell me? Okay, so hopefully everybody is catching what I'm saying here. 2023. Hang on. Let me go find Heather here. Because she put it somewhere. My chat's fucking flying. Hang on. May 20 to October. Okay, I thought so. With some records from January. Correct. Thank you, darling. Thank you. Yeah, I knew she. So, thank you. May 1st to October 31st. Okay. Thanks. Appreciate you, darling. So, I just thought that was an interesting article. I wanted to read it. I think that the dates are interesting. I think the date of the hack is interesting. I think that the hacked information dates are interesting. So, tell us what. You can hear me. Appreciate you letting me know that. I was hoping I didn't just read that whole thing for nothing. You know what I mean? All right. What was the next thing I wanted to share? Oh, yeah, this thing. That's right. We're going to look at here AT&T's transparency report. And this is from February 2023. Sorry, coffee's hitting hard today, friends. Okay, make sure everybody can see that. It's a few things that I highlighted that we'll go through. I'm not, I'll link everything, as you know, in the comments section somewhere at the end of the video. I'll link it all for you. You can go read the whole thing if you want, but nothing half-assed. How you doing? Appreciate you being here. All right. Let's go read this real quick. So this is the AT&T transparency report. It's basically, the report to the public because it's, their privacy issue brief. Okay. You can click here for that, download the PDF if you want, print it, frame it, whatever you want to do. It's all up to you. If you can hear this person's snow blowing outside, sorry. It's a damn blizzard here. All right, so this report. Like all companies, we are required by law to provide information to government and law enforcement entities, as well as parties to civil lawsuits, by complying with court orders, subpoenas, lawful discovery requests, and other legal requirements. This AT&T transparency report provides 1. Specific data regarding the number and types of legal demands to which we responded for the second half of 2022. Just remember that. This is for the second half of 2022. 2. Information permitted by law to be disclosed about Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act demands, the FISA court, for the first half of 2022. We're not interested in that. The transparency report also provides information about legal demands that were partially or completely rejected. Demands for location information, emergency requests, and international legal demands. In this report, AT&T includes all of AT&T's operating units as of this reporting period. AT&T Communications provides mobile, broadband, and other communication services to U.S.-based consumers and nearly 3 million companies globally, from the smallest business to nearly all Fortune 1000. AT&T Mexico offers mobile services to people and businesses in Mexico. Then down here in the little footnote, it says, on August 2021, we completed our transaction with TPG Capital, establishing a new independent company named DirecTV. Okay, and that they share their stuff. Company owns and operates DirecTV, AT&T TV, and Uverse video services. Okay, cool, great. July to December 2022. Tells you your national security demands, national security letters, how many they got, right? Total they received, and then the customers selected that were targeted. Okay. So, national security demands, we have that many. Criminal and civil. Criminal was 85,547 subpoenas for criminal, right? From July through December of 2022. Then we have here your historic basic general court order, 7,197, and you have your real-time pen registers, 4,062, right? And then when you get into your search warrants, probable cause court orders, you have your wiretaps, stored content, right? Other, and then your wiretaps, 912, right? Now, I'm only showing you guys this because I'm going to link it. It doesn't really have anything specific. You can't click on it and go through like which cases or whatever, but we'll go down and I'll show you the stuff I highlighted because I thought it was important. This is telling you like the in-depth analysis, right, for national security demands. So when national security letters are sent, okay, it comes from the U.S. Federal Bureau of Investigations to compel the production of information regarding counterterrorism, counterintelligence. NSLs are limited to non-content information, such as a list of phone numbers, dialed, or subscriber information. Legal demands issued pursuant to FISA. Oopsie, I didn't want to highlight all that, but it is what it is. Now we have it. So that's the information related to FISA. Total U.S. civil, criminal, and civil demands. This number includes demands to which we responded in connection with criminal and civil litigation matters. This category doesn't include demands reported in our national security criminal proceedings. Oh, wait a minute. Where did that go? Yeah, no. Okay. National security demand table. Okay. Sorry, guys. Right here. Criminal proceedings include actions by government entities, whether at the federal, state, or local level, against an individual arising from an alleged violation of criminal law. Because federal, state, and local investigating authorities in the U.S. may each initiate criminal proceedings, we receive demands from thousands of different law enforcement entities. Civil actions include lawsuits involving private parties, e.g., personal liability case, divorce proceeding, or disputes between private companies or individuals. In addition, civil proceedings include investigations by governmental regulatory agencies such as the Securities and Exchange Commission, the Federal Trade Commission, and the Federal Communications Commission. Our process. We receive multiple types of legal demands, including subpoenas, court orders, and search warrants. Before we respond to any legal demand, we determine that we have received the correct type of demand based on the applicable law for the type of information sought. For instance, in some states, we must supply call detail records if we receive a subpoena. In other states, call detail records require a probable cause court order or search warrant. If the requesting agency has failed to send the correct type of demand, we reject the demand. And then down here, it included all of this. I highlighted some of this here because I felt like this side especially was important. Search warrants and probable cause orders, signed by a judge, and they are issued only upon finding of probable cause. To be issued, the warrant or order must be supported by sworn testimony and sufficient evidence to believe the information demanded is evidence of a crime. Probable cause is viewed as the highest standard to demand evidence. Except in emergency circumstances, a search warrant or probable cause court order is required for all real-time precise location information, like GPS and real-time content, such as content obtained through wiretaps. Stored content, like stored text and voice messages, generally also require a warrant. So I'll link this. I'll make sure everybody gets to read it. It's 14 pages. Just wanted to share that with you. Okay, so keep in mind the AT&T data breach in May, right? May of 2023, but they're going and breaching all this data from May 1st of 2022 to October 31st of 2022, right? Don't we have a lot of warrants in this case? Even some of the warrants that were applied for many of the victims later on after Brian's arrest. These warrants go from June 1st to, October, stuff like that. I'm not saying it's connected. I just thought it was very interesting that we have this huge breach. Seems to include a lot of these CDRs and whatchamacallits and all of that. It's just very, very interesting. And I'll make sure I link that AT&T transparency report for everybody. You can print it out, do whatever you want with it. There's a lot of information in here about emergency requests, what you have to do if you're putting in for an emergency request. Total of 911 originated inquiries, right? That'd be interesting. That would be very interesting. It says exigent requests or emergency requests from law enforcement working on kidnappings, missing persons, attempted suicides, and other emergencies. Interesting. 911 originated inquiries and exigent requests that we processed during this reporting period. 911 originated inquiries are those that help locate or identify a person in need of emergency assistance. Interesting. No shit. Yeah, I'm definitely going to link this. You guys can print it off. Fitzy, I know you'll probably find some information in here that you can add into a video. Isn't that interesting? So AT&T also happens to be able to provide in exigent circumstances and in emergency circumstances. They can give you all of the records for whoever dialed 911 if they were using an AT&T network. If you're trying to locate someone who's dialed 911. Isn't that interesting? So anyways, True Crime Unraveled, how you doing? Thanks for being here. Sorry, I'm coming back over to chat. Steve W, hello. Yeah. All right. All right. So anyways, musical Contessa. Hi, how you doing? Um, Another thing I wanted to share with you guys is I found it unscribed, and I figured rather than trying to go back and listen to a hearing, because I seem to have issues when I do that. Where is it? Here we go. I got it off of Scribed. I got the transcript for Cyray's testimony, and I wanted to share. It starts where Anna's asking, do you usually work with the defense? I'm not going to read this whole thing, but there's a couple of things that I wanted to, because it's transcripted for us here. Da, 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 da. All right. So beginning at 13:05 of the hearing, of the video, whatever this person's transcribing here, do you usually work with the defense? Right? That's Ann Taylor. Cyray, this is the first time I've ever testified for the defense. Is it fair to say you are usually a prosecution witness? Cy, that is a very fair statement. Well, here you are, and you're working with us in Mr. Koberger's case. What is your role? Cyray, trying to conduct an analysis of all of the geolocation data, at this point still focused primarily on Mr. Koberger's device, but ultimately all devices, but any geolocation data, which is the ability to look at a specific area, whatever range or size that may be, at a specific time, and put some type of accuracy and reliability to a phone's travel. Maybe it's stagnant, when it's moving, when it's not moving, when it's off, when it's on, those types of things. But specifically as it relates to the network. So the cellular network or a Wi-Fi network. I am not a forensics digital guy. I do not get into cell extractions. I'm not looking at the metadata on the phone. I'm looking at it very much as a network. Ann Taylor, if I can make a rough distinction, you're not the person that's going to tell me who they called and which Facebook groups they might be a part of. You're not going to look at the data from the phone like photographs, but you're going to tell me the places this phone went and how it was used while it went somewhere. Cy says, kind of. Let me clean that up a little bit. I will look first at where I believe the phone went, where it traveled, how it got there, how long it took, possible routes, and then to your point, I call it, quote, corroborative data, end quote. I'm then going to seek out all that data you just talked about to say, okay, well, we have these 3 photographs, we have this piece of surveillance video, we have these 4 receipts. I'm going to overlay it with my analysis so that I can corroborate if the analysis is accurate. Or maybe we see activity associated with that person and then the phone's not there. Does that person just not have the phone? Or is part of our analysis wrong? Maybe it's the details that are wrong. So eventually, I will get back to that data you're talking about, but I'm not the guy who's going to go out and extract it. Okay. Now, she goes on to ask him, would it be fair to say that's the data that you would use in the final analysis, and how a phone works with the tower, how it moves in between the towers if the phone's in motion, right? Yes, we all know that's what Cy does. He's talking here. When we're looking at just basic CDRs, we're talking about all the hacked CDRs here from AT&T, friends. Just keep in mind all of your hacked CDRs from AT&T in May of 2023. And all the information they hacked is from May 1st, 2022 to October 31st, 2022. So this is just where my tinfoil conspiracy theorist brain is going. We are going to read this as though we're talking about these damn hacked CDRs from AT&T, okay? That's what we're doing today. And if you don't like it, oh well. So Cy says, depending on the type of records we're dealing with, it can be very helpful. When we're looking at just basic call detail records, CDRs, a lot of times we're just getting connections to our particular cell site. And we can say, aside of that cell site, sometimes the frequencies that are used, drive testing is really the only way to get a little bit more specific with where that phone may be. But more importantly, we can start to rule out areas we know it's not located by drive testing. So just think of drive testing as a forensic evaluation of the actual cellular network in a particular area. Anne says, fair enough. Are you familiar with AT&T records? Cy, I am intimately familiar with AT&T records. Anne, how long do you think you've been working with AT&T records? Cy, 28 years. Anne, in our case that we're here on today, have you reviewed any AT&T records that relate to Mr. Koberger? Cy, I have. Anne, what have you reviewed? Cy, what AT&T refers to as their regular CDRs, which is a report AU, as in atom unit. I have identified that the report CT, as in Charles Tom, which is the subscriber information. There is a really weird name called Locabar, which is AT&T's attempt to estimate general locations using latitude and longitude. I don't want to say GPS because it's different than GPS. I believe I've looked at some ping data from December. For the most part, that's what I've reviewed so far. Ann Taylor, have you looked at the two separate AT&T warrant returns for December 23rd, 2022? Yes, I have, he says. Ann, in your experience with working with AT&T records, is it common or uncommon to have two warrants, one that relies on the content of the first, and it's the same day? Cy, it's not uncommon to see a small time period that produces results that would increase the desire or the need for a bigger time period of records. Seeing that entire process happen twice in the same day is extremely rare. Ann Taylor, the first AT&T record, we called it today the 48-hour AT&T record of Brian's call detail record. If you were to take that and do an analysis of the call detail record, how long would that take? Depends on the analysis. I will qualify that answer with looking at what was put into the second warrant. That shows us at least parts of that analysis to include a route that was identified. To do it reliably and feel comfortable that I'm accurate, at least 3 hours. And that's if you know what you're doing and you have all the tools at your disposal. Arguably, you could spend half a day or more doing that very easily. Now, I want to stop here for a minute because what he's saying here is that this 48-hour record, the initial first AT&T warrant, remember what Masseth was saying? They were getting the second one in under an hour, right? Cy saying, at minimum, even if you know exactly what you're doing and you have all the tools at your disposal, minimum 3. They did theirs in under an hour. Just to keep that in mind. Now, the reason that I wanted to get to this part is right here. Ann Taylor, to do that, do you just take these records, print a copy, and know what's on there? Or do you have to do something with the records? Cy, you'd have to use some type of a mapping platform software and you would take the digital copy, which is typically a text file, you would import it into that program, which would then map everything. But if I'm going to use those results in a search warrant affidavit, for example, there's a process that I'm going to go through to confirm the accuracy, because in theory, if I'm wrong, the entire linchpin of that case is now hinged on this affidavit that I wrote. So before I commit to swearing out to an affidavit, hey, this is what the phone is doing, X, Y, and Z, there's a further process of just mapping it to validate it. In this case, there's a lot of time distance measurements that need to be performed that can be extremely time consuming. There's some ulterior, I assume he means ulterior or additional issues that come up. Oh, okay. It says there's some ulterior issues that come up with how that phone is interacting with other cell sites that needs to be analyzed. Again, saying that a very qualified, competent investigator spending half a day just coming up with that basic summary is very reasonable. And in that half a day, you would put that record into a computer program and a map would be produced. Correct. What other information besides that call detail record would you need? Sai says in this case, he would want the call detail records and he would want the locabar. And he would want the regional cell tower list from AT&T. And Taylor, does AT&T generally provide that regional cell tower list inside of its record that it produces pursuant to the search warrant? Sai, no. I would actually say by policy, they do not. It's a very large file. It typically does not transmit very well to government email. So they would direct users to where they could go online to download it. Anne, have you looked at this record? The 48-hour AT&T search warrant record, the return on that. I have. Ann Taylor, did it include the regional cell tower list? It did not. Ann Taylor, so if you're doing this analysis and you put these CDR records into a computer program, you put a regional tower list into the computer program, what does it produce? I think what she's getting at here too, while we're reading this, it sounds like what she's getting at here and what Sai's getting at here is that this is what he would have done, right? He would have wanted not only the CDRs, but the locabar and the regional cell tower list. AT&T doesn't provide the regional cell tower list, right? So your return on your first AT&T warrant, we know you didn't get provided with the regional cell tower list, but yet you're putting these CDRs into your mapping program and you're missing a large portion of what you would need to do it properly. If I'm wrong about that, Twiz is in chat. I'm sure he'll correct me, but it sounds like that's what they're getting at here. So she says, so if you're doing this analysis, you put these CDR records into the program and you put the regional tower list into the program, what does it produce? Ray, the CDRs would show me cell sites that the phone connected to. In this case, even within the 48 hours, there's hundreds of those cell sites. So it would take a while to really look at that. The original cell site list, which would show me the cell towers that the phone's not interacting with, which can be just as important. And Taylor, does it spit out product to you or does it create something that you can reference to write in your next warrant? Sai, depending on which mapping platform you're using, they all create some type of map that the person doing the analysis on can interact with. And they can change things, they can save things, they can create work product, depending on that platform that saved the different types of maps. But yes, all of them would have some type of mapping platform. And Taylor, would it be consistent with this cast draft that we heard about? Ray, it is my opinion that Corporal Payne, is probably misusing some terms there. I don't see any possibility of the FBI CAS team producing a CAS draft report on the 23rd. I think he's probably mistaken that he saw some type of CAS work product, which would be this map, before they export all those results into a report. So I believe that he probably saw some mapping through a mapping platform, but it would really surprise me if there was a physical report. It would be completely out of character. Okay? So he's saying that it would be completely out of character for the FBI CAS team to have even produced a CAS report on December 23rd for this fucker to use when he went and applied for his second AT&T warrant. Know what I mean? You didn't have no damn CAS draft report. No, you didn't. If you did, that would be completely out of character, according to the expert here. Ann Taylor, and that first AT&T report, did you, the request search warrant affidavit, did you see the request for advanced timing reports? He did, and it's in both of the search warrants. Did you get a copy of that in either return? Ray, I have not seen any timing data in this case. Ann Taylor, in December 2022, did AT&T have this advanced timing report? Ray, they absolutely did. Ann Taylor, was it something they could produce? It absolutely was. All right, but in May of 2023, how is it different? Ray, prior to May 2023, only certain agencies were receiving this timing report, the FBI being one of them. What was referenced early about the May 23rd date, that is when AT&T started offering the same type of reports. May 23rd, 2023 is when AT&T started offering these reports. May 2023 is when AT&T got hacked, right? If I remember correctly. So prior to May 2023, the only people who could get access to certain AT&T records, they would not be returned in a warrant, is going to be the FBI. That's why Masseth was saying, were you aware the FBI could access data in AT&T without a warrant? And Payne and Mowry are like, no. What? Really? We didn't know that. They did know it. Okay. So December 2022, your first AT&T warrant did not, I repeat, it did not give you certain things. You definitely didn't get these advanced timing reports. There was also call detail records that it wouldn't cough up. And there was something else that it wouldn't give up either. It would only give up basic general things. And you still, even with your warrant, however, and you didn't have cast. You definitely didn't have cast on December 23rd either, right? From the FBI. So, May of 2023 is when AT&T started offering these same types of reports. It's a little different, but it's the basic timing report to state and local law enforcement. Prior to that date, state and local law enforcement would have to leverage these reports through federal agencies that had access to them. So, Cy told us back then when he testified, I hope everybody's tracking where I'm going with this. I will link the entire transcript for anybody who would rather have it like printed out or something. But they were they were trying to tell us it back then. Okay. December 23rd, 2022, when the wheels fell off the wagon, in this case, it fell off the wagon because what Payne did, okay, is the FBI had access to all this shit through AT&T without a warrant. So if Payne put in a warrant for AT&T, if a warrant was even put in, okay, if a warrant was put in, AT&T likely said, no, we can't give you that data, sorry. Fed said, don't worry, we can get it for you. And what Payne did is he attached that information and made it look as though this is what was returned to him via his warrant. And it wasn't. That's just my opinion. But I feel like that's what they're getting at here, because you would have had to leverage these reports through federal agencies who had access to them. So your Fed partners had access to the records, but for you to attach them to your second, you're trying to use it as though this is what was returned to me in my first warrant, and you're relying on it to get your second. You're also claiming you have this cast draft report that, in all reality, likely was not produced to you on that date because it's completely out of character for the FBI cast team to produce a report like that, a draft report, within like the hour on the same day, right? So let me stop sharing that, come back over to chat. Hopefully, you guys all understand where I'm going here, why I felt it was important for us to go back and look at all this stuff, right? Okay. So I think even back then, what they were basically trying to tell us even then, hey, Miss Q, how you doing? Thanks for being here, right? Is that what it appears here is that Payne went to Meghan Marshall claiming he had this information returned to him from AT&T via his first warrant. When he's applying for the second warrant, he's also claiming he has this cast draft report that he doesn't have. He's also fabricating a witness statement via Dylan, right? So it would appear we have three things here that were done on December 23rd, like where they're going and getting warrants, back-to-back AT&T warrants, pen register, trap and trace, permission to use the cell site simulator, and they're using it based off either data they actually didn't have, data that was backdoored for them by the feds, or information that they had to change a little bit and fudge or fabricate, right? That's just my opinion. It's what it's sounding like. It's what it's looking like, which is why I think they've met the threshold for Franks. But Red Riding Hood, how you doing? Thanks for being here. Paco, hello. So, anyways, personally, I think that it's very obvious what happened here, right? Oh, thank you, Heather. Appreciate you, darling. There's the article there for the data breach by AT&T. But you see where I'm going, right, with all of this? Isn't it wild that this AT&T breach is in May? And May is all of a sudden just happens to be the same time where they're, oh, wouldn't you know, secret, state of Idaho grand jury is happening. The data breach is happening for AT&T, and then AT&T all of a sudden is coughing up, oh, yeah, sure, state and local law enforcement, we'll give you this information now, even though we didn't give it to you before. I don't know. I think that AT&T hack is likely more important than most of us would think, if you want my honest opinion. It's a better way to get all kinds of information, you know what I mean? If you want to know exactly whose phones were doing what, when, whose phones were interacting with each other when, on what day. Pretty wild, just saying. Somebody has that information, that's for sure. Somebody has it, likely spooks. Spooks, if you're listening, cough it up, if you haven't already, cough it up. Yeah, exactly, Amethyst, right. That's what I'm trying to say. So their original December 23rd, 2022 warrant for AT&T, more than likely AT&T came back and said no. Can't give you that information. We only share that information with federal partners, right? Which is fine. That's when the Fed said, okay, no problem. We'll do you a solid because we have access to AT&T stuff without a warrant. We'll give it to you. What it sounds like is MPD, Payne and Mowry, took that information, attached it as though it was returned to them from AT&T when it wasn't, to make it look like, yeah, see, AT&T gave us this back. Now we need a second warrant. And they did this all like in under an hour. Let's not forget. This all occurred in under an hour, right? Where we have Cy here saying, even if you're an absolute expert with every tool at your disposal and you know exactly what you're doing, minimum you're going to need 3 hours to go through all this data and map it, just to even have kind of an accurate map going on, right? So it's going to be interesting, I think. Simple me. Oh, I hope you have a great day. You got to run. Sorry if I didn't see you in chat earlier. But anyways, so Victorine, how you doing? Hey, True Crime Unraveled. How you doing? Thanks for being here. Angel D, hello. I'm just finally getting back over to chat. 150 people watching. Wow. Happy Sunday, all 150 of you. So anyways, what do you guys think so far, right? Pretty wild. Too fast for fleas. Yeah. Sounds like it. Double top secret stuff. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. That's what I know. Somebody's hacking some shit, right? And in my opinion, even when I first saw the AT&T breach, I said, oh shit. Even when I first saw it, I was like, oh damn. And my first instinct, I'm not going to lie to you, I'll say it. I was like, oh shit, Steve G just got everybody's shit. That's initially what I thought. Truly. You figure it was, not even summer of 2023. This is, about 6 months after everything occurred. And I was like, oh, damn. Steve got pissed. Nobody was giving him any information. And he said, fuck this. And he went and got everybody's everything. I'll be honest with you. That's what I thought. And part of me, I hope he did if he did. I'm not saying, he did. I'm just saying that was like my instinct, right? My instinct in my gut was like, oh shit. But then we find out, no, it's just some dude who's out in Turkey or whatever, so it's fine, but either way, I do know somebody's got all that information. That's a fact, right? It's a fact. I have no doubt about it. The breach of that information, like, I'm not going to lie to you, right? If I had access to that data breach, as much as I know it would be illegal, and I'm not like, it wouldn't be me, the person hacking it or anything, right? But like, if the data got out there and I knew that I couldn't get in trouble because I'm not the one who leaked it or hacked it, not gonna lie, I mean, I'd be kind of nosy and like, I'd want to take a peeky poo and, just to be like, oh shit, whose phones were doing what? Because according to AT&T, it might not say, they were saying, oh no, it's a big deal. You can't be reading texts or anything like that, but you can still use this information to figure out who owns what phone number, right? Pretty wild. Pretty wild. I mean, I'm not saying I'm not saying anybody did. I'm just saying, wouldn't that be wild? If you did, I mean, hats off to you, dude. Whoever did it, hats off. Cough up the information. We know you have it. Hats off to you. But now turn it over. Turn it all over if you haven't done so already. Yeah, I mean, that's what I mean. Yeah. So, I would. Not going to lie. I would. They had their PI in the beginning, So I just saying. Yeah, probably, Tara. I just don't know what you're talking about, though. Where are you coming? We're not even talking about DNA or anything. Are you talking to someone else in chat? Because I'm not even talking about DNA or blood in the house or nothing. So I'm lost on your comment. Ty Knots, how you doing? Thanks for being here. Didn't even see you there. How you doing? Well, you might not need it, Twiz. Just saying. End of October was the last like 2 weeks of October in Moscow were pretty wild. So yeah, well that's what I mean. Shit, just saying. I had friends who could maybe get me some information, and nobody else was giving me any information, and I knew someone who could probably get it for me. I mean, But then again, this is just my tinfoil hat conspiracy theory. But I do believe that AT&T data breach is pretty wild considering the timing of it. I'm sure it's just a coincidence, right? There are many, many, many coincidences in this case, and everything is a coincidence. It's all just a coincidence. So, you know. Oh, you're talking to Twiz. Oh, okay. Sorry, Tara. I was just super lost. Um, yeah, probably. Actually, Angel, I wouldn't doubt it. I think that the defense subpoenaed. Remember, they were always talking about the TUI stuff and everything. Detective Mowry, you have a question that you would like to ask all the viewers? Oh, okay. What you got, homie? Mm, mm-hmm. Right. Bitsy, yeah. Let's not forget Halloween. Halloween, obviously, there was a problem. A big, big problem on Halloween. So, yeah. Prove he couldn't have been there because he was without a doubt somewhere else. Yeah. I mean, we'll see, right? Um, I guess we'll find out. I'm just more interested in. Yeah, I did. I saw it. BS Love and Life, how you doing? Thanks for being here. Yeah, I saw it. I don't care about these people though. I don't watch fucking Nancy Grace or any of these people. You know. I don't even do reactions to them either because what's the point? You know what I mean? They're never going to stop. That's what these people do. They're just goddamn mockingbird propagandists for the damn government. That's all they are. hmm Yeah, he sure did. I haven't seen nothing about this dude either since, like on his social media, nothing. And he used to be very active. I mean, unless he just privated everything. But oops, hold please. Sorry, friends. I got to mute for 1 minute. Ro, how you doing? I'll be right back. Hold, please. Angel, hi. How you doing? so sorry about that, friends. All right, let's see here. Sorry, I saw a few people coming in before I had to leave for a second. All right, let me find your question. Take away the sheath from the crime scene. What next steps or evidence would Ellie have focused on? I mean, no, Angel. Although I do want to make ramen today, big time. Actually, because it's a ucky snowy day, so I really do want to make ramen. Yeah, I know, right, Paco? I mean, listen, Detective Mowry, take away, right? Let's go back to this question. Take away the sheath. What should Ellie have focused on next? I mean, the fact of the matter is, the only thing they should have been doing from jump, first things first, right? Phones. What's in the phones? But anyways, smells like smoke outside. Can't sleep. 3:46 a.m. Why does it smell? Oh, are you in Cali? No, you can't be in Cali. 3 a.m. Who the hell are you? That it's 3 a.m. TN Sapphire, how you doing? Yes, that's right. There's 154 of you here. I'm not even that fun today. Shit, smash the like. Imagine if the subpoena for the communication between the lab and ISP, and lo and behold, someone buried the other DNA results. Right. Well, that's what I mean. I'm starting to think they know exactly whose DNA it is, to be honest with you. I would imagine that, well, it depends, right? If those are the same profiles that Becca Barlow was talking about were uploaded to CODIS before Brian's arrest, those 3 to 4, right? If there were 3 to 4 profiles uploaded to CODIS before Koberger, I mean, I would imagine the defense is able to find out exactly. I don't know. You know, I would hope that if I'm not going to lie, I mean, if I'm the judge, shit. If I'm the judge, I'm saying, excuse me. I'm so sorry you went. You have other DNA that you, at the scene that you don't know who it belongs to. You have someone else's blood in the middle of your crime scene. You know it. You tested it enough to know it's male. But then, what? Did you make sure it wasn't Koberger's? Did you make sure it wasn't Ethan's? And that was the other thing. I've heard a lot of people saying, oh, well, it could have just been Ethan's blood. I'm thinking to myself, you motherfuckers have been saying these kids were killed in their beds in their sleep, right? How the fuck is Ethan's blood going to be on a handrail somewhere else in the house if he was killed in his sleep in his bed? Doesn't make any sense. Right? Clearly, forensics knows it's not, likely not the victim's blood. They would know that. It's not the male victim in the home, right? I would imagine if it was uploaded to CODIS, well, then that's how they know it's not Brian's, because allegedly they uploaded to Brian's to CODIS too. Allegedly. So, Attorney David's video this weekend on bombshell evidence got a reply that no one is ready. I don't even know who that is. Yeah. Well, listen, Mallory. All right. We don't even know she said she saw a person. She literally said she thought it was a dream and that it wasn't real. Not for nothing, but if my witness, right? My witness says to me, I don't know what happened. I thought it was all a dream. I thought it wasn't real. At that moment, I can no longer rely on that witness. Can't rely on anything they say, unless they're just saying it to get out of something, right? But if you truly believe that your witness was so absolutely fucking out of it, that they literally they can't recall things correctly, right? You can't rely on them. I know it sounds messed up, but that person has now become an unreliable witness. They would be deemed not credible, right? In a court, most likely, I feel like. You know? I don't think there's a judge out there that's going to be like, oh, yeah, sure. Jury, rely on this person who thinks that it was all a dream. Rely on their testimony. I don't think that would happen, but exactly, P. Fox. Bingo. For $12, there's no reason that they shouldn't know whose it is. Correct. That's kind of the point I was getting at. If you have these 3 to 4 profiles you put into CODIS, none of them produced a hit, including Brian's, allegedly, right? Allegedly, your sheath DNA also went to CODIS. Well, if all went into CODIS, none returned a hit. Well, how come you only went and made one tree, right? When for $12, you could just illegally upload those profiles as though they're yours. You could have just pretended that all 4 profiles were yours and built trees for all of them. But I mean, once they're in CODIS forever, right? So if they actually did put these profiles into CODIS like they claim, I'm still not convinced they did, if you want my honest to God's opinion. I'm not even convinced any of these profiles went into CODIS, including Brian's. Being dead ass. Because I don't even think they did CODIS first like they're supposed to. I think when the defense says IGG is the origin, they actually 100% mean that. They mean, and when she says there was no real investigation, I think they mean that. I think they mean there was no real investigation. IGG is the origin. It's the only investigative tool that was used. I'm going to have, unless they, and I'll eat my words. If the state at trial or somewhere along the lines produces an actual chain of custody for this DNA going to CODIS, but I could tell you right now, CODIS is basically forever unless you have a court order to remove it. And on a weekly basis, that profile is going to be compared to new profiles that are being uploaded from other crime scenes, from criminals, shit like that. So I'll be very, very surprised. Well, we know there was DNA, right? Because Bicca Barlow is saying in her declaration prior to Kohberger's arrest, based on the discovery turned over by the state, it appears 3 to 4 other male profiles were uploaded to CODIS. And this is prior to Kohberger being arrested. So, sorry, I'm looking at chat. Then I look at chat and I get all, oh, you're welcome. Okay. Well, yeah, that's kind of the problem, Tara. She doesn't have all the paperwork from the labs, and she should. Should have already been turned over a long time ago. The state, according to them, they were ready to go to fucking trial. What? Last summer? Summer before? I don't know how the state planned on going to trial. They didn't even. We're on a 20-second request for discovery. Oh, Okay, gotcha, Miss Q. Sorry. I thought you meant they had no DNA. I'm like, well, I think they did. But yeah. Well, we'll look at it. I have it pulled up. We'll look at Bicca Barlow's declaration yet again, because I think it's important. um, it's from a while ago, but that's okay. Things have been turned over since then. Judge did grant partial, if I remember correctly, partial discovery for IGG and things like that. But all right, here we go. This is the declaration of Bicca Barlow. This is basically like her CV, blah, 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 what she was requested to do. She talks about, Chris one, I already had all this highlighted. Did it unhighlight everything? No. Okay, here we go. So she talks about data is compared within the database. Possible relatives are identified. The determination of who is or is not a relative is subjective. The comparisons in such a database do not yield an identification of someone identical to the uploaded SMP data. Rather, it would identify possible relatives who might be in the database. Once a putative relative has been identified, family tree is created, working backwards to grandparents and possible great-grandparents. The family tree is then built down. The construction of these family trees is highly subjective, and it is based on the use of public records such as marriage and birth certificates. Difficulties with tracing a family tree may arise when there are events that sever a relationship, such as an out-of-wedlock birth, name change, or adoption. This process leads to a pool of individuals rather than one individual. As described in the Washington Post, the technique leads to a pool of relatives, not to a single individual. The same issue has come up in other cases where more than one individual was identified and subject to investigation. At least one relative of the defendant in that case, in the case of Who Killed Angie Dodge, one relative of the defendant in that case was investigated and ruled out. Further complicating the Dodge case was the fact that the defendant in that case had been born after his parents' divorce and adopted by his stepfather. In addition, there has been a history of misuse of these IGG databases by law enforcement. Abuses by law enforcement of the GED match resulted in users opting out of the use of their DNA data by law enforcement. Abuses and protests by users led GEDmatch to change their database so users had to opt in for law enforcement use. Another database that allows law enforcement searches, Family Tree DNA, automatically opts users in. Example of other abuses of this technology: a Florida police officer obtained a warrant for the entire GEDmatch database, despite users' choice to opt out. Then it goes through the Maryland law. Here we go. In some cases, both law enforcement and the genealogists that they have employed have engaged in deceptive practices, tricking family members, surreptitiously gathering genetic material from non-suspect family members, or simply uploading an evidentiary profile to a database that does not allow law enforcement searches. Sidebar, this is where we have the issue with Daddy Koberger, okay, because you're surreptitiously gathering the genetic material of a non-suspect family member without a warrant. Per IGG policy from the DOJ, the state prosecutor would still need a warrant to go and covertly collect a sample from what did he call it? They called it you have your suspect sample and then you have your reference sample. There you go, Annie. Reference sample. So if you want to go and surreptitiously collect a reference sample to compare to your suspect sample, you still need a warrant per the IGG, the DOJ policy. And that applies to state, local, and federal. So not only do we likely have an issue here where, like what Becca Barlow's talking about, the deceptive practices of surreptitiously gathering genetic material from non-suspect family members or simply uploading an evidentiary profile to the database that law enforcement is not allowed to use. Well, in this case, it sounds like what Anna's claiming is the FBI did it twice. They went into 2 databases they're not allowed to use. And furthermore, went and got Daddy Koberger's DNA from the trash, obtained a profile for that, and then used it for comparison purposes without a warrant. According to Becca Barlow here, it is imperative to the defense in this case to know how Mr. Koberger was identified and who else in his family tree might have been identified as the subject of the investigation. It is unknown to the defense in this case whether every lead or possible suspect was further investigated and ruled out by genetic testing. Because the family trees generated by these genealogy searches often identify distant relatives through great or great-great-grandparents, a person may be completely unaware of the relatives in his genetic genealogy searches and unable to conduct an independent investigation of possible third-party suspects. It is not possible for any defendant to investigate family relatives who are unknown to him and may in fact have been in the area of the crime. This material clearly is Brady material in that it would provide investigative leads that are otherwise unavailable to Mr. Koberger. As an attorney who specializes in DNA cases, cold hit cases, and IGG cases, the IGG database search results raise the same type of questions and areas of investigation that a cold hit case would. First, who else was included in the pool of putative relatives in the first instance of the IGG database? Second, once the IGG search was completed, who in the pool of identified putative suspects were ruled out by further investigation? For the defense team, how many others were investigated and what caused law enforcement to focus on Mr. Koberger is key to possible investigation of third-party suspects. Most importantly, how does the search of a large database impact the statistical analysis of the comparison by the state lab using the standard STR method? As with cold hit cases, it is now well recognized that the statistical analysis of a comparison of standard STR profiles is impacted by a phenomenon called ascertainment bias. In the case of cold hits initially, courts did not allow the fact of a cold hit as well as its associated statistical, the database match probability, DMP, as evidence for reasons similar to those presented by the government in this case. Aaron Murphy, Inside the Cell. However, it is now accepted that in a cold hit case, the DMP is generally accepted and can be calculated by the crime labs. The best illustration of this can be found in US v. Jenkins. The government cites to a California trial court regarding Michael Green, which relies heavily on People v. Johnson, as support for the proposition that the IGG material need not be disclosed. She's saying the government here, as in the state of Idaho, okay? State of Idaho cites to a California trial court order where it relies heavily on People v. Johnson as support for the proposition that the IGG material need not be disclosed. In its argument, IGG search is a mere tip and not subject to discovery. The prosecution misreads Johnson. So now we know why, obviously, we know. After this, Judge granted them certain stuff on this, right? It was given to him in chambers. We all know that, okay? Let's get down here. In this little footnote here. In its motion, the government misstates the statistical rarity of the comparison to the DNA from the sheath. The STR profile, this is their quote, the STR profile is at least 5.37 octillion times more likely to be seen if defendant is the source than if an unrelated individual randomly selected from the general population is the source, end quote. This reported statistic for this comparison is a likelihood ratio, similar to an RMP, which compares two competing hypotheses. The government statement is extremely misleading and is essentially the prosecutor's fallacy. The fallacy is to say that the probability is also the probability that the DNA at the crime scene came from someone other than the defendant. It does not say that the odds that the suspect contributed the evidence are 1,000 to 1. In the case of a cold hit case, even a high RMP can yield a low DMP. For instance, an RMP of 1 in 1 million can yield a DMP of 1 in 3, which means that while the profile is rare, the likelihood of getting a coincidental match during the search of the database and selecting a person who matches but is not the perpetrator is high. When this evidence is excluded, jurors wonder why and how the defendant was identified. In one case where the evidence of the search and the DMP was excluded, jurors inquired of the trial court how he had been identified. Failing to access the ability to investigate and potentially tip that the government intends to lead a jury to being actively misled by the strength of the government's evidence to the DNA on the sheath. Okay. Investigate and potentially present evidence about the tip that the government intends to exclude could lead a jury to being actively misled by the strength of the government's evidence as it relates to the DNA on the sheath. The government's arguments are similar to those that were eventually discarded by the court. Impact of an IGG search on the statistical weight of a DNA comparison using STR profiles is ongoing. Ascertainment bias is accounted for using CODIS and standard STR testing by use of the DMP statistic. The DMP helps a jury understand the likely of a coincidental match when a database is searched, which is different than the simple rarity of the profile expressed with an RMP. Without access to the results of the search, including how the first putative relative was identified, how many profiles were in the databases searched, which databases were searched, and how the family tree was constructed, Along with the family tree itself, Mr. Koberger has no means to address possible significant issues with the government's evidence. From the discovery in this case, it appears that at least 3 and possibly 4 profiles were uploaded to CODIS prior to Mr. Koberger being charged. Mr. Koberger has requested the discovery of these uploads and any resulting hits or candidate matches to these unknown male profiles, even if the lab dispositioned them as non-candidate matches. And what she's saying here is that when a profile is uploaded to CODIS, it's searched continuously against the database of convicted offenders and arrestees maintained by the state, generally on a weekly basis. This ensures that as new individuals are added to the database, they will, quote, hit on the evidence sample profiles if they are deemed a match. So the CODIS database, there are 3 to 4 profiles that were uploaded to this database prior to Koberger's arrest, and there should be absolutely no reason why 2.5 years later, they don't know who those profiles belong to, is the point that I'm getting at here. I will link Becca Barlow's declaration. Anybody else? I have a lot of stuff highlighted here, right? You can go through it all yourself, read it yourself, print it, frame it, laminate it, whatever you want to do. But I think it's very interesting that even back in June of 2023, right after the AT&T stuff, right after the grand jury stuff, June of 2023, this is when DNA experts start popping up, saying, hey, by the way, relatives on the tree, relatives that were in the area of the crime on the tree, we're going to need to know who that is. Right? Isn't that wild? They were saying back then. Yeah, so those relatives on the tree that were in the area the time of the crime, we're going to need to know who that is. So, let me come back over to chat. A.R. Hayes, where are you at? Convicts Thoughts, A.R. Hayes. Hey, how you doing? Thanks for being here. As always, appreciate you stopping in. If you're still here, sorry if I missed you. Willie, what's up? Mercy Cat. Yay, you're still here. All right. So, yeah, you guys know I will link everything in the comments. Hey, Joey, how you doing? Thanks for being here. Hope you're having a great day. I don't know. I'm just saying. All I know is that they definitely, 1000% by now should know whose DNA that is, right? I feel like the FBI definitely knows. That's just my personal opinion. You can't take profiles out of CODIS, I think, without a court order, Sally. If I remember correctly, there's somebody smarter than me, I'm sure, who knows that. But it's always been my understanding that once your profile is uploaded to CODIS, it stays there forever unless you are somehow able to get a court order from a judge to have it removed from the database, right? To have it dispositioned or whatever. But I'm not sure the process on that or how it all works. If there's anybody in chat and I missed you, I'm so very sorry. Let me come and say hello. Yeah, exactly. Red Riding Hood. Bingo. Yeah, that's what they were asking for. Becca Barlow was very, very interested in knowing exactly what relatives on the tree were identified to be in the area of the crime at the time, which is very, very interesting. And that was back in, June of 2023. So they've been saying it for a long time. and have always been under the impression the reason that his defense team and his defense DNA experts were so, interested in his tree is not even just so much because they did IGG, because they knew that IGG was done. I think it also has to do with if the rumors are true and Brian and his own family members, or maybe Brian didn't do it, but family members a couple Christmases ago uploaded their DNA to some, database because they were looking in their ancestry or whatever the case may be. Well, then I would imagine he knows who's on the tree. They would know who's on their tree, right? And if I'm your DNA expert and I know your family has a tree, but I also know that you're being accused of this crime and the state is claiming they have a tree, I'm going to say, hey, let me compare trees. And let me see if your tree is correct. Because as we all know, some of these DNA databases, I don't know if you guys have ever seen some of these videos where people will send in a swab of their dog, right? And it'll come back that they're like, African American and stuff like that, and of Latin descent. It'll come back with all of these different percentages. And the person literally sent in like a mouth swab of like their cat or their dog. You ever seen this shit? So, I mean, how reliable is these DNA databases really when you think about it? Okay. People were sending in their freaking Rona swabs and their animals were testing positive for Rona. People were swabbing their shoes and shit just to see if these tests would come back as positive, and they did. So let's all keep that in mind. Leah, hello. Thanks for being here, darling. But if you've never seen those videos, you guys got to go watch them. I mean, it's pretty funny when you think about it. Some of these ancestry sites and these DNA sites, they'll come back and, you could send in literally like DNA swab like your balcony, right? Your balcony, your banister is going to come back as, half Asian. I'm just saying. If his family did their own trees or whatever, that's going to be interesting. Yeah, the mango that tested exactly right. People were exactly twins getting different results. Bingo. There you go. Yeah. So you guys know what I'm talking about. So really, when you think about it, they would have all gotten emails, right, that a new match was found. Yeah, exactly. Bingo. So, I've always wondered since I read Bicca Barlow's declaration, 50 fucking times. Every time I read it, I'm like, she definitely wants to know what relatives were on the tree and in the area of the crime at the time. Sounds to me like they know of a relative. And they want to see if the state is going to produce that. Right? Because, why would you hide it, right? Yeah, exactly. You can send it in with a false identity, for fuck's sake. That's right, Mikey. You got it. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Just throw my thoughts out here. It's a Sunday morning thought, Sunday thoughts with Annie. So, yeah. Lost her glove. Who? I don't even know what you're talking about, darling. Who said they lost their glove there? Oh, Nancy. Fucking Nancy. Yeah. Too bad the glove, Nancy, was found. It's just wild to me. Here's the thing. She likes to play dumb. She isn't dumb. She's a former fucking prosecutor. She knows exactly what she's doing, right? All you got to do is read the document as a former prosecutor, and you would know that Chris McDonough's glove is not the same glove. It's not the glove being referenced in any of the documents. Okay? Just saying. Chris McDonough, the glove he found, and the glove that, Logsdon or whoever talks about, it's just wild. Either way, if he thinks it's his glove and Whatever, that's fine. Whatever helps him sleep at night, whatever makes him feel better. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Ike. Exactly. When they went after Vargas. Well, this is what I mean. Notice that the state hasn't cross-examined any of the defense's expert witnesses, like for DNA or anything. Not that we've gotten to see, anyways. Right? I think the only one they cross-examined is the guy who did the survey. Mercer, is that his name? So I don't know. Yeah. Anybody acting like blood at the crime scene doesn't matter, right? No, I can't. I just can't. Party blood, right? It's party blood. Are these people serious? It's party blood. Okay. All right. See what I mean about they always move the goalpost? The car was supposed to be a rolling crime scene. When it wasn't, they moved the goalpost. There should only be one perpetrator DNA in the house. Oopsie poopsie. We find out there's 3 to 4 prior to his arrest. Okay. Whoopsie. Joanne, how you doing? Thanks for being here. Oh, Mercer was DNA. Well, then I don't know who I'm thinking of. The guy who did the fucking surveys. Edelman. Whatever his name was. You know what I mean, Twiz. Damn it. Love you. I don't think it's suspicious at all that they don't cross-examine Beckles. What are they going to do, darling? What are they going to say? You imagine? What are you going to say? What are you going to say to Bicca Barlow? Right? Bicca Barlow comes up and she's like, hey, by the way, bitch, yep, we see that you uploaded 3 to 4 other profiles. We're going to need those. Here's why. What are you going to say as Bill or Ashley? Right? What are they going to say? They're going to go up and try to argue with her as to why she's wrong. Tell her why she doesn't need this information. She would destroy them. Yeah, exactly. Mercy Cat. Bingo. Right. Trying to get to your comment here. Bingo. Nancy was reprimanded by the Georgia Supreme Court for concealing discovery from the defense. Exactly. Right. Former prosecutor. She knows exactly what she's doing. Yeah, basically. Basically, that's what Bicca said in a very nice way. It's wild. I don't know how anybody can say that blood at the crime scene is irrelevant. Meanwhile, you claim that the speck of dust-sized skin particles are relevant, to the point that you needed to do multiple things to these skin particles, okay, in order for you to even fucking get a profile. That's relevant. The skin dust is relevant. But the blood, nah, forget that. Don't worry about that blood over there. Right? Just makes no sense to me. These are the same people who, look, they're just going to keep moving the goalposts and there's nothing we can do about it, okay? Nothing you could do about it. But yeah. So anyways, here's what I want to do. Yeah, exactly. What other investigator? No shit, right? What other investigator in the world would say blood at a crime scene is not relevant to the crime scene? Well, that's what I mean. I guess, it all depends like where you found it or whatever. It sounds like wherever this blood was found was pertinent enough that not only did the ISP forensic team feel it's in a spot where, yep, it's pertinent to the crime scene and it needs to be collected. Right? Otherwise, why else did you waste your time with it? I could understand if we're talking about like a speck of dried blood, like outside on a rock or something like that. But if we're talking about actual blood droplets, of males that are not your victim in the home, that's your male victim, and they definitely don't match your perpetrator that you alleged did this alone. I mean, I'm sorry, we got a problem here. That's reasonable doubt all day, every day, and twice on Sunday, right? As far as a jury is concerned, even your basic run-of-the-mill juror that doesn't even understand DNA or anything is going to be like, wait a minute, what the fuck? Did you just say there were 2 to 3 to 4 other DNA in the house collected by forensics that were ignored? Most people are like, excuse me? What? You know? I just feel like that's like basic. Most jurors, when they get into that jury room, they may not say nothing in court. They're just going to sit there and play their part. But when they get in that room back there, there's going to be people like me, people like Lana, Fitzy. We're going to be the ones back there going, did you hear these motherfuckers say there's other blood in the house? Know what I mean? I'm going to be that juror that's out back like, nope. Until I know whose blood that is, I'm not budging. Know what I mean? Because it's reasonable doubt all day, every day, and twice on Sunday. Okay? That's what blood, other male blood in the crime scene, that's what that is. That's reasonable doubt. As Hitler would say, all day, every day, and twice on Sunday. So, I'm just saying, if I ever get on a jury, on a case like this, God forbid, as much as I would be the person that's in the back, like, y'all motherfuckers are crazy. I am not gonna say this person did this when you got the state over here saying, we knew there was other blood. We thought we had other perpetrators, but we ignored that shit, right? Because that's basically what's happening here. Well, we thought we had other perpetrators, but once we focused our attention on this motherfucker right here, we ignored all of the other perpetrators and suspects, right? If I'm a juror, I'm going to be like, excuse me? You did what? Why? I'm going to need answers. I'm going to be that juror that like Auntie Bev hates because I'm going to have questions. I'm going to be like, well, so why did they do this way? Right? Just want to clarify for the record, Judge Bev, Your Honor, did they admit they ignored other DNA at the scene? I would need to clarify that as a juror. Is the state and law enforcement admitting they ignored other DNA at the scene once they focused their attention on one particular person? Interesting. Just saying. Well, we'll see. The jurors are definitely going to hear about the other DNA, the other male DNA. We know they're going to hear about that. Because till this very day, Elisa Masseth and the defense referenced the alternative suspects. So I have no doubt whatsoever the defense is absolutely going to be referencing the other DNA at the crime scene that was ignored. No doubt about it. It's reasonable doubt. It's third-party culpability, especially if they can prove that members of law enforcement had an inkling. Maybe they knew. Know what I mean? If there's a record somewhere anywhere that the defense has gotten their hands on, okay, they've been able to get their hands on Payne's text that he wasn't aware of. There's a lot that the defense has been able to get their hands on that I think a lot of people aren't truly aware of. They think, I think they're going to have a lot that even we don't understand, And I think that those other DNA are definitely going to be a big, big, big problem for the state, especially if the defense can show that This was other suspect DNA that was intentionally ignored because they solely focused. If there are any communications anywhere, like, do you guys understand hypothetically, for example, if there are communications from balance to pain or balance to Maori or balance to Maori and pain telling them of other perpetrators, you understand that, right? If there's information that the defense has their hands on that the FBI was trying to tell Moscow PD, you have the wrong guy. These are the other people you need to be looking at, and Moscow PD ignored that. You understand? And the defense can prove that. I don't know. Just saying. It's just a hypothetical. I think a lot of people are underestimating the defense. They're able to do their own subpoenas. They're able to conduct a full criminal investigation in the background. And they are not obligated to tell the state in any way, shape, or form what they're doing per that investigation. So I would not be surprised at all if, when it comes to the other DNA in the home that was ignored, the other blood in the crime scene that was ignored, that's going to be brought up a lot because it's still being brought up till this day. And the defense is still focusing on these, alternative suspects. I have no idea, Joey. Couldn't tell you how many, darling. Couldn't tell you. I know there was like 113 pieces of evidence collected, correct? Something like that. No idea. Even like with the Amazon warrant, right? People talk about, oh, Amazon, he ordered the K-bar on Amazon, and blah, 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 Amazon. Nope. Shut up. Stop saying that. I don't know why people say that. He did not order the K-bar on Amazon. Stop it. Just look at the date of the fucking Amazon warrant. It's not for Brian. Just stop it. Okay? So they were doing blanket warrants on shit. So anyways, yeah. I don't know why people say certain things. I don't know why. Couldn't tell you. I just know that, what date is the evidence phase hearing? Not sure about that one. I could bring it up. No, we have something for April 9th. I know that we also have, the 4 subpoenas that recently hit they haven't hit the docket yet. They were under the case summary, though, but I don't know. All the dates for everything is in the case summary. I know 4/9, there's a hearing. It's a motion hearing, I think, on 4/9. Yeah, let me get down here. Let's look at the schedule. All right, so it looks like on 2/12, quite a few things went in. You have the order extending the state's rebuttal expert deadline. You have the order sealing Exhibit S1 regarding the state's motion to extend their rebuttal expert disclosure deadline. Subpoena issued, subpoena issued, subpoena issued, subpoena issued. 4/9, motion hearing with Hippler. 4/16, another motion hearing with Hippler. 5/15, pretrial conference, Hippler. July 21st, hearing with Hippler. July 30th, hearing with Hippler. And then August 11th, jury trial. That's all I got so far on the case summary page. Yeah. So, anyways, I don't know, 12, right? I know we're all patiently and anxiously awaiting the Franks decision. I wish we could read those subpoenas, Would love to be able to read those subpoenas. But it is what it is. I would love to read those subpoenas. But anyways, all right, so how long have I been on this damn thing? Today was supposed to just be kind of a relax hangout, discuss a few things, go over a few things. I wanted to share that AT&T article with you guys. I will remember to link it. I will remember to link I'll try to just link everything I went over, and then that way you can do whatever the fuck you want with it. How about that? Yeah, sound like a plan. And then, I don't know, maybe Kane will be live later, or, something like that. I'll see y'all around. I think Lana's going to be live later. Maybe see y'all over there. I really appreciate every single one of you being here. Hopefully it was a nice, relaxing time. Been live for over 2 hours. I hope everybody stays warm. You're not buried in snow. But yeah, I hope to see you around tonight. Mods, thank you so much for being here. Every single one of you, thank you for being here. By the way, congratulations, new mods. Eddie's a new mod. Meg P is a new mod. Make sure you guys give a big shout out to all your mods in the chat. Give them lots of hugs, lots of cheers. Who did I make a new mod? Meg P recently, Eddie recently. Of course, Heather's a mod, Twiz is a mod, Willie is a mod, Dinky's a mod. But yeah, big hugs and love to your mods. Mercy Cat, you need to go leave a comment somewhere on a video, darling, on this one so I can mod you. Durr, you should be a mod as well. But anyways, yeah. Hope everybody has an awesome day. Stay warm. I'm going to drink my coffee. Have a great day. If you're snowed in, be snowed in. Make some hot chocolate and soup. Do something fun. Go sledding if you like sledding or skiing or something. But whatever you do, make sure you either hit that thumbs up or that thumbs down on your way out. Don't forget to do that. I have the best mods. I really do. Best mods on the interwebs. Don't care what anybody says. I have the best mods on the interwebs. And I appreciate every single one of you. Take care, everybody. Mikey, yes, I would never block you, ever. My mods, no. Don't block anybody unless I say, block them, bitches. Bye, guys. Have a great day. Swamp Rose, love you. Bye. You were just listening? Aw, thanks, honey. Love you. Have a great day. Keeks, I know you're in the Cape and you probably got blizzarded into, so stay warm, girlfriend. You and the puppers. Bye.